Benito Antonio Martínez Ocasio lived two very different lives at the same time, and for years almost nobody noticed. During the day, he worked at a grocery store in Puerto Rico, packing bags, helping customers, and following a routine that looked completely ordinary. He wore a uniform, worked long shifts, and blended into the crowd like thousands of other young workers. To most people around him, Benito looked like someone building a simple and predictable future. But every evening when his shift ended, another life quietly began. Inside his bedroom, surrounded by simple recording equipment and notebooks filled with lyrics, Benito became someone else. Music was never just a hobby for him. It was a way to express emotions and thoughts he rarely shared with others. He grew up surrounded by music. His mother played romantic Latin songs at home, and his father filled the house with salsa and merengue. As a child, Benito sang in church choirs, learning melodies and harmonies long before he understood what it meant to become an artist. But as he grew older, his taste changed. He became fascinated with underground urban music, reggaeton, and trap influences that felt raw, emotional, and honest. While attending university and studying audiovisual communication, Benito continued recording songs at night. He balanced classes, homework, and grocery store shifts while spending countless hours writing lyrics and experimenting with beats. He wasn't thinking about fame or money. He simply wanted to create something authentic. Still, he wondered if anyone outside his bedroom would ever hear his voice. Around 2013, Benito made a small decision that would eventually change his life. He started uploading his songs to SoundCloud. There was no marketing plan and no promotion. He simply shared his music online and hoped someone might listen. At first, very little happened. His songs received only a few plays and comments. But slowly, his music began spreading through underground communities. Students shared his songs at parties, local DJs played them in small clubs, and listeners reposted his tracks because they felt something genuine in his voice. Despite the growing attention, Benito continued working at the grocery store and studying at university. He remained uncertain about his future. Viral attention online didn't guarantee success, and he understood how unpredictable the music industry could be. Many artists experience temporary popularity before disappearing completely. Benito knew he was standing between stability and risk, but he hadn't made a final decision yet. Then came the song that changed everything. The track was called Diles. When Benito recorded it, he treated it like any other song, focusing on honesty rather than commercial success. But after uploading it online, something unexpected happened. The song spread rapidly across Puerto Rico. Students played it at parties, cars blasted it through city streets, and people who had never heard his name suddenly recognized his voice. More importantly, music producers connected to the influential Mambo Kings collective discovered the track online. They recognized something unique in Benito's sound. He wasn't trying to imitate global trends. He was creating something new within Latin trap music. The producers contacted him and opened doors to professional opportunities. For Benito, this moment forced him to confront a life-changing choice. He could stay safe, continue his studies, and keep working a stable job. Or he could take a risk and pursue music professionally, in an industry known for destroying dreams as often as it creates them. Choosing music meant uncertainty and pressure. Yet Benito made a quiet but powerful decision. He chose to believe in himself before the world fully believed in him. He signed with Rimas Entertainment, an independent label that allowed him to maintain creative freedom. Instead of following industry formulas, Benito experimented with genre combinations and visual aesthetics that challenged traditional norms. He wore unconventional fashion, blended different musical styles, and spoke openly about identity and social issues. Many industry professionals doubted whether audiences would accept such an unusual approach. But his growing fan base connected deeply with his authenticity. As his popularity increased, collaboration opportunities began appearing. Other artists recognized his originality and invited him to work on projects that expanded his audience across Latin America. Streaming numbers increased, concert invitations arrived, and slowly the grocery store employee disappeared, replaced by an emerging artist gaining international recognition. Despite the growing success, Benito remained focused on creating music that represented real experiences rather than manufactured entertainment. His major breakthrough arrived with the release of his debut studio album, X100 PRE. The album combined reggaeton, trap, rock, and alternative influences in ways rarely attempted within Latin music. Critics praised its creativity and emotional depth, while fans embraced it as a reflection of cultural pride and generational identity. The album's success transformed Benito from an underground artist into a global star. The name Bad Bunny became more than a stage identity. It became a symbol of artistic independence. With international success came new responsibilities. Global audiences expected innovation with every release. Media attention increased, and industry leaders who once doubted him now recognized his influence. But fame also created internal pressure. Benito needed to balance authenticity with global expectations. He had to decide how much of himself he could share publicly and how much he needed to protect privately. Through his music, he continued addressing themes rarely explored openly in mainstream Latin trap. He spoke about Puerto Rican identity, social inequality, mental health, and cultural pride. His willingness to discuss these topics expanded his influence beyond music and transformed him into a cultural voice, representing younger generations seeking authenticity. His success proved that artists could achieve global recognition without abandoning their language or cultural roots. By the time he began performing on international stages, Benito's journey represented more than personal success. It showed how digital platforms could reshape global music industries. It proved that authenticity could compete with commercial formulas. And it inspired aspiring artists around the world who saw his story as evidence that unconventional paths could lead to revolutionary outcomes. But rapid success rarely brings simple happiness. Behind sold-out arenas and chart-topping releases, new challenges began forming. Fame created expectations that demanded constant reinvention. Critics analyzed every creative decision, and fans expected emotional honesty with every new song. As Bad Bunny stood at the center of global attention, he realized his journey was entering a new phase. He was no longer just a rising artist. He was becoming a cultural movement. And movements bring pressure, responsibility, and sacrifice. The story that began in a small bedroom recording songs after grocery store shifts was evolving into something far more complex. The world was finally listening. And with that attention came new battles that would test his identity, his creativity, and his relationship with global fame. For Bad Bunny, the journey had only just begun.